Good morning, boys and girls, and welcome to Adventures of the Broke and Retired. Got it right that time. When I was filming a video, Ed's Cracker Time last night, I got the name of my own channel wrong. Uh, how do you do that? Myself, Don, along with now I'm about to call him my trusty remote, Elmer. I'm not sure about the trusty part, so we'll just say we'll go back to my reckless remote, Elmer. Will be hosting the program, the video for you today, with you today. This is one that I've been thinking about telling for a while. There's a problem with telling it. You know, I don't know how the algorithm works. In all honesty, I doubt there's any one person who knows specifically how the algorithm works, but I do know that there's certain words that the algorithm doesn't like and YouTube doesn't like. And I've been holding off on this story for a while because this story includes one of those words. So when I get to the word, I will explain to you what I've done to avoid that word. I think that's probably the easiest way to do it. Is just when I get to the word, I'll replace it with something else, but I'll let you know what it means, and we'll see how it goes. So here is the story. On one of my visits to New York State, I went up there as often as I could to go visit family, and of course visit my dad while my dad was ill, and he was living in the nursing home, the care facility, we'll call it. This was right around the same time that if you saw my video, I think it's called The Supervisor, maybe, about my dad watching the guys with the backhoe digging the hole. It was right around that same time. So anyway, I go up to go visit, and I walk in the place and sign in. You know, you got to sign in, and go down to my dad's room, and the door was open about halfway, I think. So I kind of knocked on the door and announced my arrival, and walked in the room. The lights were turned off. It was kind of a gloomy, gray, wet day outside. Great weather, as they say, great weather if you're a duck. And my dad was standing. My dad had a private room, and he was standing there with his arms crossed like this. And he was just standing there staring out the window. Window was pretty big, you know. He's standing there staring out the window, kind of like a picture window. He was standing there staring out the window. Now, outside the window was the gray, wet, rainy day, and they were doing some work at the facility. And there was a big, one of those big rigid pipe threaders outside, underneath a piece of visqueen, right outside his window. And he was just standing there kind of staring at it. So I walked in, said hello, got no reaction, sat down in the chair in the corner and started talking to him, but I didn't get any reaction from him. He was just kind of standing there looking out that window. Every once in a while he would switch from arms like this to arms on his hands on his hips, and he just stood there staring out the window. And I didn't really know what to talk about because, as far as I could tell, he wasn't listening to me. But I had, I wasn't sure what to do, so I just kind of, as you may have noticed, when I don't know what to do, I just kind of keep talking. So I just kind of kept talking about stuff, and And then I started thinking, well, maybe the dude doesn't want me here. Maybe he's just ignoring me, so I'll go away. Maybe he's in a mood today where, um, well, I'm bothering him. Maybe he just wants the time alone. I didn't know what to think. So anyway, so I said to him, all right, well, I don't want to impose on anybody. So I'm going to go ahead and go. I'll see you later. And then he spoke. Now, this is where the word is going to have to be changed. But the word makes the whole story. So it's difficult to come up with a decent replacement for it. The only replacement word that I can come up for it, if you ever watch Ray William Johnson, he refers to these items not by their standard name, but he refers to them as a pew pew. If you haven't seen that, sometimes these objects sometimes these objects will propel lead. Some of them are made of plastic and are full of water, and you just go squirt, 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 squirt. But anyhow, we're going to change the word to pew pew because it works for Ray William Johnson, so hopefully it'll work for me. So I told him, hey, I'm fixing to leave. And he stood there like this, and he's staring out the window at that. He's staring at that big pipe threader. The pipe threader was pretty big. I mean, it was sitting on a tripod. It's pretty big. And he said, there's a pew pew under there. And I said, what? He said, there's a pew pew under there, right there, underneath that tarp. That's a pew pew. And I was taken aback just for a minute because, first of all, he hadn't said a word the whole time I was there. And second of all, that's not what it was. It was a pipe threader, and it was sitting under clear visqueen so you could see what it was. Excuse me. Got to keep the water, man. It was sitting under a piece of clear visqueen so you could see what it was. But he was convinced it was a pew pew. Now, I want to try to bring y'all into what I perceive as his mindset. What his mindset at that particular time, as he looked at that pipe threader, thinking it was a pew pew, what his mindset most likely was. I've thought about this quite a bit. This is going to end up breaking into two parts, I'm sure. Although I might let it run long just to see if it'll download. Molly's been working pretty hard. My stepdaughter Molly's been working pretty hard on getting stuff coordinated here so I can make videos. She's done a great job so far. She's good. Anyway, back to it. So he's convinced there's a pew pew under there, and I want to take you into what I think his mindset actually was at that time. Now, as we're all sitting around here, we're all just happily enjoying ourselves, hopefully. My father's childhood was a bit different than what most people in the United States have had. He was born in 1929 in England, which is 10 years after World War I. So as a child, which he would have been a child in the 30s, it would have been 10 years old in 39. As a child in the 30s, the effects, the lasting effects, the people involved, everything about the Great War, which was World War I, or the war to end all wars, which was World War I, everything was still was still there. Everything was still, it was all still fresh in everyone's mind. England was still on the recovery. I don't know how long rationing went on, but it went on for a while. But anyway, so as a child, that's something that he would have seen. I'm gonna, you know what? I don't want to take the chance of losing this, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here and break it into 2 videos. Hopefully, I can post them both. I have another one planned for tomorrow. Tomorrow's August 21st. I have another one planned for tomorrow. Anyway, thank you very much for being here. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and hit the notification bell so that if I make a new video, it come out, you'll know that it's out. Just makes it easier to find. Thank you very much. We're going to move on to part 2 about my dad and the pew pew. Sit tight. There you go, Elmer. There you go, Elmer.